Hello and welcome to Grammar Skills Module 2. In this module we will talk about how to use apostrophes to indicate possession. Alright, so in the possessive case, we also call it the genitive case, we add an apostrophe and in many cases the letter S to a noun to indicate possession. So let me give you an example here. So the first sentence here reads, "The work of a woman is never done." So in this example, we're expressing the possession by using the preposition of, the work of a woman. That's a little awkward, okay? So what we can do to express the same idea more concisely is to add an apostrophe and an S to the noun. So the revised sentence therefore reads, "A woman's work is never done." Now, our challenge in this exercise or set of exercises will be that how we express possession with the apostrophe depends on quite a variety of circumstances. First of all, we have to determine whether the noun is in the singular or in the plural. We have to look at whether the noun ends with the letter S already. The other thing that's important is which style manual are we following? Are we using MLA, APA, Chicago style, and so forth? So on the following exercise slides, you will see a sentence that expresses possession by using a preposition as in the original example we just looked at. So you're going to revise that sentence to indicate possession by using the apostrophe and, when it's appropriate, adding an S. So if you're watching this as a video and you need more than 5 seconds, please just feel free to pause the video, revise the sentence, and then move on and look at the answer slides. And there will be an answer slide following each exercise slide. All right, exercise 1. The painting by her father-in-law sold for a large sum. So in this sentence, we're using the preposition by to indicate possession. So how do we revise it to use an apostrophe? Answer 1, the correct revision is, her father-in-law's painting sold for a large sum. So for most singular nouns, and father-in-law is singular, all we have to do is to add the apostrophe and the S. Exercise 2. The desks of the employees were tidy. So let's revise this by expressing possession with an apostrophe. Answer 2. The correct revision is, the employees' desks were tidy. So generally speaking, for plural nouns and employees, with an S at the end is the plural form of employee, all we have to do is add the apostrophe. We do not have to add an additional S. Exercise 3. The rooms of the children were messy. So in this sentence, we are indicating possession by using the preposition of. So here again, we have to revise it with an apostrophe. Answer 3. The correct revision is, the children's rooms were messy. So here, the plural form is not formed by adding an S, as in the previous example where we use the plural form of employee to be employees. Here it's the plural form of child, which is not childs, but children. So therefore, the plural form does not end with an S. So here we're going to add the apostrophe and we're going to add the S. Exercise 4. The novels of Charles Dickens created some of the most memorable fictional characters. Again, we're indicating possession with the preposition of. So here we have to revise the sentence again using the apostrophe to indicate possession. So for number 4, we actually have two possible correct revisions. It could be Charles Dickens' novels, where we add just the apostrophe, or we can make it Charles Dickens's, and here we add the apostrophe and the S. Novels created some of the most memorable fictional characters. So here, the consideration is most likely which style manual we're using. For your work in my classes, I will always count both of them as being correct, because both of them essentially are, depending on which style manual you use. For your work in future classes, always ask your professors which style manual you should be using, and then follow the guidelines for that. If you're not sure, just do it consistently, do it the same way each time. Don't add just the apostrophe in one sentence and then the apostrophe S in another, because that would be certainly confusing. It's really not a big deal. When I worked with the copy editor of my publisher in publishing my novel last year, I had written the entire novel using the first choice of just adding the apostrophe. The copy editor worked in Chicago style, where you have to add the S, so that was one of the notes I got from her, is add the S to all the apostrophe situations indicating possession, so I did. So it's really not a big deal. So just make sure you either ask your professors or your employers, or whatever the situation might be, or if you're not sure or you're not being given any specific guidance, just choose one or the other and use it consistently throughout your text. All right, number 5. The recent European vacation of the Jacksons was a catastrophe. So let's revise that, getting rid of the preposition of to indicate possession with an apostrophe. The correct revision is the Jacksons' recent European vacation was a catastrophe. So here, regardless of which style guide you would follow, generally if it's the plural form of a proper noun, in this case this family's last name that ends in an S, you would really just add the apostrophe. Exercise 6. The trailer of Betty and Buford was hit by a drunk driver. So here again we are indicating possession using the preposition of. So let's figure out how we use an apostrophe, potentially an S, to indicate possession. The correct answer for number 6 is Betty and Buford's trailer was hit by a drunk driver. So in this case, the apostrophe and the S are added only to the second name because Betty and Buford jointly own the trailer. We could also say it's their trailer. So whenever there is joint ownership of something and we're indicating possession, we're adding the apostrophe and the S to only the second name. Exercise 7. The ideas of a romantic evening Betty and Buford have could not be more different. Okay, so again, we're using the preposition of to indicate possession here. Let's think about how we need to add apostrophe and potentially an S in this situation, and also how this example may be different from the one we just looked at. Right. The correct revision here is Betty's and Buford's ideas of a romantic evening could not be more different. So the way in which this sentence is different from the one we just looked at. In the previous example, we're referring to their trailer, which is something they jointly own, and in that situation, we only added the apostrophe and the S to the second name. Here, Betty has very specific ideas, Buford has very specific ideas. They're not even close to being similar to the other person's ideas. So each of them has their own. Therefore, we're adding the apostrophe and the S to each name.